bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
An institution that has been a part of the Grand Bahama community since 2009 continues to play a major role in building the country by providing higher education for persons across the island. The Bahamas Institute of Business and Technology held their annual commencement ceremony over the weekend. Italia Hall tells us that the graduates were encouraged to always be inspired.
46 students taking part in the commencement ceremony held at the Grand Lupayan Resort on Sunday evening. The theme, Inspired to Excel in a Time of Change.
They walked in one by one, beaming with pride, all smiles and excited to receive their degrees. The commencement speaker was the Parliamentary Secretary for Information and Communications and Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Pakeisha Edgecombe. She told the group that the knowledge that they have gained is not enough, but it's all about what they do that will determine just how effective it is and how ready they are to adapt to a world that is evolving.
Our country needs you. In every sector, at every level, your talent, skills, and expertise will determine whether our time of change is a positive or negative one. We are transitioning, as is the world, and the change begins with you.
Edgecombe then used a quote by Nelson Mandela: "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world."
Graduates, I call on you to be bold by introducing new ideas and concepts. Go beyond thinking outside of the box and instead create the box.
Following the commencement address, the president of the institution, Deswell Forbes, gave the charge, telling graduates to always go out and build their legacy.
Your legacy is your story. Your distinguishing characteristics, it is those positive or negative things for which you will be recognized and remembered even after you're gone.
Then the moment had arrived.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the proud and distinguished graduates of the class of 2017.
Co-valedictorian Miriam Russell spoke on behalf of the graduating class. She advised her peers not to box their talents, but instead let them bloom for the world to see.
I was inspired to further my education. Thus, I enrolled in this institution, as did you, my fellow graduates. We are not the same persons we were when we signed up at BIBT. It's not only the people's time, it is our time, graduates.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
The Deputy Prime Minister, addressing the business community this past Friday at the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce's monthly meeting, the nation's second in command, bringing hope for the island's economy as he announced a number of plans to bring economic revitalization. During his address to the business community, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest, outlined the government's strategy to create and enable an environment for sustainable development on Grand Bahama. He says that some of the keys to revitalizing the economy are supporting existing businesses and industries and strengthening the economic foundation. He also notes the government's plan to invest in young people.
Our plan includes strategic interventions to stabilize livelihoods through targeted programs that encourage employment, skills acquisition, and self-employment. To this end, we will continue to support apprenticeship programs like the one at the shipyard, as well as others, to ensure that our young people, in particular, acquire useful skills for the future vision that we see for Grand Bahama.
The development of an industrial policy to identify potential areas of opportunities is also a priority. The Deputy Prime Minister noting that the government has received impressive proposals for industrial development for different areas of the island.
For this reason, we are establishing a satellite office of the Bahamas Investment Authority right here in Grand Bahama, which will focus on these and other proposals for our island. So hopefully no longer will you have to submit to the Grand Bahama Port Authority, submit to the government the Ministry for Grand Bahama and submit to the central government through BIA in Nassau. We want to make the ease of investment as simple and as efficient as possible.
Turnquest added that the needs of small and medium-sized businesses must also be examined. He announced the pending establishment of a small business development center on Grand Bahama that will be attached to the University of the Bahamas and supported by the Ministry of Finance.
We expect that all of the resources necessary for a small or medium-sized enterprise to go from concept to getting a license to operation will be available, whether it's finance, whether it's legal, whether it's advice, mentoring, whatever, will be at that center. We also want to have that center partner with the Joint Venture Capital Fund, which the government is committed to contributing $5 million. We want them to have access to the Jump Start program and the Fresh Start program, which we will relaunch.
And now it is time to ask the doctor.
This is Ask the Doctor, continuing our discussion on Darcel's question regarding teenage pregnancies, prenatal care, and some of the associated health risks. If your daughter makes the decision to continue with pregnancy, encourage her to seek prenatal care, get tested for sexually transmitted infections, eat a healthy diet that contains more folic acid, calcium, iron, protein, and other essential nutrients, stay physically active, gain weight wisely, avoid risky substances such as alcohol, tobacco, prescription and over-the-counter medications, and take childbirth classes. If your daughter lacks the money or transportation to obtain prenatal care, or needs information on continuing her education as a pregnant teen or teenage mother, a counselor or social worker may be able to help. If you are a parent or a teenager with questions, please email askthedrbahamas@gmail.com or drop them in my question box at the hospital or at any of our Grand Bahama community clinics. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. Ricardo Lightburn is up next with a check on sports.